Personas. Not quite. I'm talking more about the art personas. And if you've been anywhere near the art community, you know that almost every artist has one of these art personas, whether it's a replication of themselves or not. So let's talk about mine. As you can see, she's ugly. She doesn't move, she has a lack of color, and honestly, she's just kind of a basic design. I really just made this character just to input her into my videos and didn't think anything of it. And as time is going on, I want an actual art sona. I want something that moves and has color and looks pretty. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be giving my art sona a full redesign. We're scrapping her old design. Get it out of here. We don't want to talk about it. I want to do something completely new and completely fresh that isn't like an offshoot of me. Anytime I've ever drawn an art sona, I always get in this rut of, I need to make it look just like me. It needs to look exactly like me. And reality of that is, no, you don't. It's a little character that's supposed to be fun and, you know, identifiable with not only me, but like you guys. So I did keep some implements that, you know, just really honed in on me and that I like. So I do have a short haircut and I did kind of keep like my hairstyle. I did keep my gauges, and then I was gonna give her blue eyes, but I ended up giving her brown eyes because I naturally have brown eyes and I don't see that very often. So I don't see people give their characters brown eyes often. They always give them like pink or blue or green or all of these rainbow colors, and I just wanted to keep her eyes brown because I thought it was a nice touch. I did mention how I want to make her move and definitely more vibrant, and we are. So I am going to be doing some animation in this. Don't judge me. I don't do animation that often. I'm not talking about anything crazy. She's not going to bounce around like a VTuber, but I am going to make her blink and kind of simulate the idea of talking. I've never done talking animation, so I hope it turns out okay. One of my favorite things that I had just the absolute joy figuring out was how I was going to design her. Now, I struggled with figuring out what I wanted to do because, again, I wanted it to kind of look like me. I wanted my character to kind of look like me a little bit or keep like certain aspects of me. So, you know, like I feel connected. But I also wasn't sure like what kind of style I wanted her in. I always go back and forth with like 3 different styles. I'm either super cottagecore in my art, I'm like super high fantasy, or I'm super cutesy. And as I like am looking back at my art, and especially my older art, I'm realizing that I do like the more cutesy stuff with like a hint of cottagecore and figuring out my style in that way. So I wanted to give her more into that area. So like I went with more overalls for the cottagecore aesthetic, and then I gave her like little stars or like cutesy. I gave her these little round eyebrows because I see people do it on their characters all the time, and I think it's so cute. I think it's the silliest little thing, but also like adds like a different touch to their character. I gave her these like little, I don't know, like markings, these little round markings on her cheeks. I didn't know what to color them, and then I ended up coloring them blue. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't know. You guys put your comments down below. How do you feel about that? I actually ended up like kind of liking it, so it wasn't all that bad. The other thing that I struggled with this was, again, that like mouth simulation. I think I looked up 4 or 5 tutorials, and I think you'll see me like pause heavily in the speed paint where I'm probably off on my other monitor looking at like tutorials or just like references for mouth movements. It's not perfect. It's really not perfect, but I am very happy with it. It came out a lot better than I realized, because I swear to God, I thought she was gonna just look weird and crazy, but ended up being really good. I don't normally do the symmetry kind of style of drawing because sometimes I think it looks weird, but I did it for the animation purposes so it looks cleaner, because I do agree it can look a lot cleaner. I just don't try to do this as often, because I think there's something, I don't know, I like the look of like how natural a art piece can look when you don't do the symmetry, but sometimes it's really helpful. That's my take, honestly. Respect to those who use it and like have their art look awesome. Good on you. Maybe I need more practice with it, but I do like how she turned out. She was very, very cute. I wish there was, like, I feel like later on I'm probably going to add more detail to her as like time goes on, things move and change. I know for a fact I'm gonna add more like facial expressions and not like quite hand movements, but like hand gestures, like, I don't know, like holding on a peace sign or a thumbs up, you know, dumb stuff like that, because it's not that hard to do. But I just, for the sake of time purposes and getting this video out on time, I was like, I'm going to do this at a later date. This will not be in the video. Just so I don't, you know, sit here and make like a 2-hour long video. So you're probably wondering, what am I using to animate her? Again, tried and true, I am using Firealpaca. I am so obsessed with using Firealpaca. Now, I know a lot of people use, not for animation, but like a lot of people nowadays are using Clip Studio, and I really want Clip Studio, but you know, your girl is a broke bitch and she just does not have that money right now. So at a later date, I will definitely get that, because it does have a lot of the elements that I do want and like in a art program. So I would love to give it a try, at least. But I am using Firealpaca. The thing is, Firealpaca is great for animations like this. So if you're just doing simple things, like you want to make your character blink, you want to make it talk a little bit, you may want like some little stars dancing or just very basic stuff. I don't think I would do a full animation, though you probably could. The only reason why is because it gets really out of whack after a while. And it's just not great. It becomes very disorienting. I would rather just use a full like animation software or something alike. I also hate that when you're doing GIFs like this, because in reality this is just a GIF, it becomes really hard to do like transparent overlays with it, which is something that I need for a character like this, right? Like, she's going to be in my video, she's going to be in the foreground while a lot of the video is going to be playing in the background, and nobody wants to see a whole white box covering like 1/3 of the video. Nobody wants to see that. I don't want to see that. And so what sucks about this is that you have to go into Firealpaca, do the animation, do all the work, do what you need to do, and then you need to export those layers and then put it, like, you need to convert them with transparent backgrounds, and then you need to put that in like a GIF converter, which is so stupid. Like, hear me out. Firealpaca people, if you're listening or ever find yourself on this video, please do something about that. That cannot be hard to code, right? Please help a girl out. It is so annoying to take all of these files, like literally she's like 12 to 13 frames. It sucks to take those, put them in a folder, take them to another website, and then convert into a GIF. It's so silly. Why are you making me do this? Anyways, that's my qualms with it. It's so ridiculous. Going back to the drawing, enough about Firealpaca. I have my beef with them, okay? It's not a perfect program. But going back to the drawing, as you can see, a lot of the colors that I used were bright like primary colors. I don't know, I just thought like very like cutesy and kind of childish colors would be really fun and like honestly visually appealing. So I had a fun time with those. I loved making her hair pink. I used to have pink hair a long time ago, and it was by far my favorite thing. I almost want to go back because it was so much fun to have it, but I'm enjoying my natural hair color and we're living our best life now. And then I was actually going to make the overalls blue, but you know, your girl can't be normal for once. And so I wanted to do yellow instead to be just a little bit different. Again, like visually appealing, getting into that color area. I also stuck with the primary because they're not going to look inherently bad as long as they're within the same hue. Like I wouldn't use like a cherry red with, you know, like a pastel blue. It may not look terrible, but just again for like coherency in the drawing. That's kind of why I went with that. Things that I would have loved to do differently with her. One, you can notice that like I made her ears a little pointy because I love like the little elf ears, and I was like, oh, it's so cute. I also wanted to add jewelry. You probably saw me struggling with that earlier on in this video. So I added the gauges. Those were fine, easy, but for some reason I was having the hardest time adding on like a freaking earring. So I scrapped that because I was like, whatever, we'll come back to this idea at a later date. The other thing that I really wanted to do was add horns on the top, but I wasn't quite sure if I did or didn't, so I just scrapped it. I may come back to it. Again, this is just kind of better than what we have, and like I just wanted to make a character and then probably build on her later on as, you know, again, time goes on. And I don't know, I would love to do like a full scale model of her. I know a lot of people are getting into VTubing and all that, and maybe if I have the time and patience to do so, maybe create a VTuber model from her or out of her. I think that'd be so cute. I think it'd be fun to watch her bounce around and be adorable. So again, later date stuff. I think I would probably put more like little spots on her, do like a full row of blue freckles. I'd love to give her like little fangs. I think the little like chibi fangs are so cute. So just kind of like making her more like fae oriented instead of I don't know, she looks like half fae. Like, oh, her dad might be an elf and her mom might be human, who knows. And then what else? I would love to just add like a bunch of like little details. Like I was debating if I wanted to put like little stars in her hair, which again, I might do that. It was really cute. Maybe more detailing on her overalls, giving her like a full design. Again, I mostly just went with like what's gonna work for my YouTube video. I wish I would have done a full design. It probably would have helped me out a lot more. Who knows? But I am really happy with how she turns out. I did add some gradient shading. Lately I've been using like gradient mapping for certain things. If you've been reading my comic, you know I've been adding it a lot. It's kind of nice. I think it adds a little bit of depth to a character, but like it can really make or break a design. So I've been using it a lot, but I'm also trying to not like overly use it. I'm not trying to rely on it. That's the thing, because I get into these fits where I'm like, no, everything needs to have gradient mapping on it. It's wonderful. So that's my problem. Okay, I am going to go off on a little tangent here. And the thing is, I don't do animation a lot. So this is good for me. I'm happy with this. This makes me happy. But I do want to do more animation in the future, and I would love to like kind of document that journey with you guys, because I want to get better. I want to add little hand movements. I want to add like little like bouncing hair, you know, and littler things. One, I need and I want to do this. But two, I also need an animation software to do this with, because I am not going to use Firealpaca. No, we're not doing this. I could, but I am not using Firealpaca. This alone, I'm not even gonna lie, took me 4.5 hours, and I had to take some breaks because I was like, oh my god. Definitely what was the most like obnoxious thing was the eyes, the open and close. I've done blinking eyes before, right? I always hate doing them because it's like filling in the gaps. I'm like, ugh. And my mistake, my bad, what I did this time that really like messed me up was it was the fact that I colored and I shaded and then I went back and did all that. So if I would have just laid down the color, filled in the gaps, and then shaded, that was my problem, was that I did the shading and then I went back and filled in the gaps. Which wasn't like the worst thing, because, you know, I can always go back and like readjust stuff, but like because of the shading and I do like gradient mapping and such, it's like, oh no, I have to like click through and do every individual color. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's just kind of more of like a headache than it is, you know, anything else. So I know a lot of people tend to have like a full backstory for their personas, which bless them. I am not that person, sadly to say. I don't have like a full backstory on her. I just know that her name is Honey. She is part fae, and that's kind of all I've got, you know. Maybe in the long run I will, you know, concoct a wonderful backstory for her. As you guys have probably seen some of my D&D videos, I do love doing backstories, but I also kind of hate it. It's a love-hate relationship. I'm loving it more and more as time goes on, so I will probably do something a little more with her and who she is as a person, because this is just an extension of me. That's all it is. And I think it would be fun to elaborate on that. I may do some cliches, you know. But I did have fun just like, you know, playing around with her. Again, I'll probably come up with something fun for her. My question to you guys is, if you have a persona or something of a like or sorts, or a fursona, you know, whatever you have, what's their backstory, what's their name, and what do they look like? Send it, like put it in the comments, something, like reach out to me and show me, because I would love to see it. I love seeing other people's characters, probably because I'm a little bit bad at character design and I'm learning as time goes on, but I'm getting better. I am getting better. At least I think I am getting better. I'm liking how my characters are turning out. I went down, off topic here, I went down a deep dive of some really old art from a few years ago, and I loved how I was playing with the designs and characters and what I was doing. I was having so much fun with it, and that's now like inspired me to do more of that kind of art. So I'm really excited for probably the next couple videos to come, and I hope you guys are too. I have a really big one that I've been working on. It's a Pokemon video, and I really wanted to put this out like a week or two ago, but it is so big that I'm like, oh my gosh, my hand is fried. My hand is literally fried, like it's dead on the ground. I'm looking at it. It sucks. But I think it's gonna be a fun time, and I think you guys are gonna have some laughs about it, because it is pretty silly. And I just need to, honestly, I need to finish up a couple things and then edit the video. So that may come out beginning of next month, probably. I do have a couple more videos in and on that. I do have some fan art videos, and I have, oh gosh, just an array. Anyways, that's not here nor there. We're getting back into the video. I'm off topic now. Oh my gosh, I do this all the time. Going back to my character, Honey. You can see that I put like little hearts in her eyes. I'm trying to get better with eyes. I used to be so good at it, and now it's like my brain has forgotten. I don't know what to do anymore. How do I draw eyes? I don't know. But we're getting into pretty much the end of what I did for her, finishing up the animation. As you can see, I'm like rerunning it back to make sure it looks good. These are just like slower frames and me clicking through the layers to make everything look okay. You can't see it in this video. I don't know why it doesn't catch on a camera, but there is like a tool in Firealpaca that shows me how the animation's looking. It just shows me like an autoplay. And then I'm basically just adding some finishing touches, making sure that everything looks okay and it doesn't look out of whack. One of the frames is a little weird, but that's okay. You can't really notice it unless you're like honing in on it. But I just want to show you her. I want to do the reveal. I'm going to introduce you to my character. I swear to God. This is Honey. Look, I did it. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. She turned out so great. I love everything about her. She looks amazing. I love that she does like a little talking animation. It's just something a little more visually stimulating for the eyes when you guys watch my videos, and I love that. I'm excited to add more facial features and, like I said, maybe some hand gestures and some other little things here and there. I think it'd be so much fun, but at the same time I'm like, I'm so happy. She looks so good and she's so cute. What do you guys think? What do you like? Tell me, is this better? Do you like her? I hope you guys like her. I love her. She's so cute. I can't wait to use her in my next video. I'm gonna end the video here, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you guys next week. Remember to like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys then. Bye guys.